We are in Dallas, Texas. Kevin Owens' favorite. You're the Texas' favorite son these days, right?
So I hear, yeah, they love me over here. You know, I was going to wear the same shirt. How embarrassing would that have been?
Oh, well, I know. Only one of us is embarrassed now.
Looking like a Muppet. There he is. Sammy! He's got your shirt! Pay attention to your interview, idiot. What are you doing? That's very unprofessional. Oh, okay.
Great Britain.
I'm from
England.
Maryville. You know this.
You got it. Yeah. Kevin Owens is here, man. Come on, get the camera back on him. First thing I wanted to talk about for WrestleMania weekend. You know, I was talking to AJ Styles the other day, and he was saying how important Triple H was on his journey. Of course, we know Triple H has had to retire now from in-ring competition. I just want to get a little, we're about to have this massive moment with you and Steve Austin. How important was Triple H to getting you into WWE full stop?
I mean, I wouldn't be here without him. That's all that comes to it. When you say full stop, that really is it. Nobody's ever done anything. Nobody's done more for me than Triple H in my career. And, I think I echo what everyone said. It's very unfortunate in a way that he didn't get to retire in the ring. But he made the right decision for himself and his family, so you can't, that's the right decision. That's a good decision. Selfishly, I wish I would have had the chance to wrestle him. And he and I talked about that before. I think we both assumed that eventually it's going to happen. And now, obviously, that won't be able to happen. But in the grand scheme of things, who cares? Seeing him yesterday was so great. Seeing him around after a few months of not seeing him, when he used to be everywhere all the time.
Yeah.
And he looked amazing, sounded amazing. So it was really, really great because that dude's done so much for so many people and this industry. I really can't say how great it was to see him.
It's one of those things as well with Triple H where he had that reputation when he was an active wrestler, right? But then he's this whole other generation of talent he's helped. Was you almost surprised when you first met him and got talking to him before you came to the company?
No. I mean, to me, he like you said, there's this reputation about him, right? And I always thought he was really good at what he did, and to me, he always elevated the shows he was on and the people he worked with. So I never really got that vibe of the reputation. So I wasn't surprised, and when I met him, it was clear to me that guy was just all about growing the industry and giving people a chance. So, he proved that he proved my assumptions right many times over the last few years, and I don't think, like I said, a lot of us would not be here without him. I think, yeah.
As we say, Steve Austin this weekend. Like, who would have thought we could utter such a sentence not so long ago?
Yeah.
I just wanted to get your thoughts on your WrestleMania legacy full stop, because there was a whole story with Seth Rollins a couple of years ago that you had to overcome and seize the moment. Got to work with close friend Sami Zayn last year. How do you feel about your WrestleMania legacy now? You're on the cusp of an incredible moment.
Yeah, I've had pretty incredible WrestleManias all around. Low point obviously was WrestleMania 35 when I wasn't involved at all, and that really hurt. Hopefully I never have to, that never has to happen again. But, you brought up WrestleMania 36. That one was a tough one, right? It was in front of an empty building in the middle of a pandemic that nobody really knew how to navigate. Nobody really understood what was going on in a way. So that was scary, and it was a very surreal experience. But that WrestleMania stands out just like all the other ones to me. It's just as big of a deal to all of us as any of them were, even though there wasn't, a stadium full of people there. But I feel I've had really great WrestleMania moments all around, from the first one here at AT&T Stadium. My entrance that night is something I'll never forget. It's actually something he left. Something he won't forget either. We've talked about that before, because he was in the ring already when my music hit, and I remember him saying it was so surreal and wild to see the reaction and be in the ring in that moment and knowing we're about to perform at WrestleMania. And then the next year, I won the United States title against Chris Jericho. The following year, I was in the ring with Daniel Bryan when he made his return, and Shane McMahon.
Wow.
And then, WrestleMania 35 came and went. But then 36, I'm in the ring with Seth Rollins, a guy I've known for so long, traveled up and down the roads with. Then, obviously, the next year, he's back. I'm with Muppet over there. And, that's another thing. Last year, I didn't think we'd top last year, because me and him together in a singles match at WrestleMania, It does not get bigger than that as far as sentimental value, right?
Yeah, sure.
Except look what happened this year. Unreal, you know. It's funny too because last year we were doing the KO Mania shirt as we do every year, and Sammy was like, maybe I can be on it this year, you know, because the WrestleMania 5 was Hogan and Macho Man and Mega Powers, and so maybe we're like the Mega Power. I'm like, no, KO Mania is about KO Mania. It's just, and then this year he's like, why is there another guy on the shirt? I'm like, well, Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Come on now.
Yeah,
come on.
So,
There's an asterisk.
It's all pretty surreal, man.
I was going to ask as well, I know you've been asked a million times about re-signing with the company, but I wanted to dive more into the Vince McMahon aspect, because again, talking earlier about Triple H, perception and reality, I guess he must have made you feel wanted during these talks. Like, how's that relationship blossomed, again, versus the man you thought, and then now you've got to know him and work for him?
Yeah, and you know, we've always had a relationship, and that's not something everybody can say for a reason or another. And you know, I think it's been a lot of people have said how important it is to have a relationship with Vince McMahon, and you know, it's like in any other walks of life, you want a relationship with your boss and your immediate supervisor, whatever it is in any job, right? Vince McMahon is just inherently a very intimidating person because of who he is, right? So when you first come in here, you can't help but be intimidated at the idea of Vince McMahon. But once you meet him, at least for me, I realize this guy really is just like all of us in terms of the passion he has for this industry. And once you have that link with somebody, there's always ways to, you know, form a bond or whatever. So I've always had a good relationship. Well, not good. I've always had a relationship with him. Sometimes it's been good, sometimes it wasn't so great. But the important thing is it was there, you know, and we had a communication. And when we talked about this contract, it really took a matter of seconds for it to get settled, because when I sat down in front of him and he said, well, I want you here, I think you belong here. Okay. I mean, once that's said, and you know, that's how I felt too in a way. I've been here for many years, and this feels like a family, not just my colleagues in the ring, but you know, everybody on the crew. We have an amazing crew of people, from the production crew to the you know, the office crew, just everyone. And like the thought, me picturing myself not being here and not seeing these people on a regular basis, like it didn't feel right from the get-go. But obviously I was going to have to make the best decision for me, my career. And once Vince put that out there, it was clear what the right decision was. You know?
Yeah. Can I just ask in terms of the Steve Austin part, right? Like, because it seems so outlandish at one point. Is that something that you personally can go, hey, what about we get Steve Austin at Mania? Or is this like Vince brings to you?
No, I mean, it was brought to me. I didn't, it's not something I would have thought was possible, so I don't think I would have entertained the idea, really. You know, it's just...
I thought they were joking, though. Steve Austin back?
I mean, I really don't think they would, like, no. Once I was told, I was like, oh, well, all right, let's go. You know, I just, it's not something they would bring up if they weren't 100% certain, okay, this is what we're going to do. It's not like something they'd be like, well, maybe we can do this. It's too big to just say, you know, sit tight. Maybe we'll do this, or maybe we won't. We'll see. And I'm like, it's not something they do to somebody.
Final one, Undertaker Hall of Fame tonight, man. It was like, again, I know that their legends have kind of interacted with a lot of different people down the years, so you've probably had chances to speak to the man himself many times. Like, what do you think about him? Going in, obviously, it's a natural, but for you personally, how has he been?
I mean, he's, you know, in terms of his career, there's probably nobody that deserves to be in the Hall of Fame more, right? And I know that's a cliched sentence, but really think about it. Look at his career, look at the mark he's left on WWE and even pop culture. Like, people know who The Undertaker is, even if they've never watched a WWE show. And, you know, his career speaks for itself. Of course, he's just going to the Hall of Fame. It's kind of shocking he hasn't already been put in, if anything, you know. So it's a great thing and completely makes sense.